years to come.
The proposal made in Geneva came to be known as the Walk in the Woods. By comparison, what Presidents Bush and Gorbachev have now proposed can best be described as a run through the forest. Rick and DeFirth, ABC News, Washington.
The biggest United Nations inspection team yet left today for Baghdad. The team plans to set up a laboratory, make a detailed inventory, and begin neutralizing the chemical agents at Iraq's main chemical weapons facility. ABC's Sheila McVicker is in the Iraqi capital, where she says officials there continue to conceal and deceive.
As they get closer to some of Iraq's most closely guarded secrets, United Nations inspection teams arrive more frequently in Baghdad. In spite of international pressure, there was today more evidence Iraqi officials continue to be less than totally forthcoming. A UN ballistic missile team found undeclared Scud missile launch sites.
They have agreed to destroy all of them according to our specifications, which is going to be to drill a large hole in the middle of it, fill it with explosives, and detonate the whole block.
And in spite of evidence gathered by the UN, Iraq continues to insist it does not have an advanced nuclear weapons program. The Iraqis attempted to prevent UN nuclear inspectors from examining documents by blockading them last month in a parking lot. After 2 days of meetings with senior Iraqi ministers, the head of the United Nations inspection team says they do not accept the UN findings.
My understanding is that they are denying that there is much more than research activities. Our assessment is that it is indeed a full-fledged nuclear weapons program. We believe that Iraq may continue to have a nuclear weapons development program.
A new team of nuclear inspectors arrives in Baghdad soon. Iraqi officials have been told there is a list of questions they must answer. And United Nations diplomats warn it is not in Iraq's best interest to resume the game of nuclear hide-and-seek. Sheila McVicker, ABC News, Baghdad.
A videotaped interview with American hostage Terry Anderson was released today, in which Anderson says his captors have promised they would soon have very good news for Western hostages. In the tape obtained by CNN, Anderson appears much healthier than in the past. He said he's been hearing messages broadcast by friends and relatives on the radio, including his daughter Salome, who was born after he was kidnapped in Lebanon. The PLO says Secretary of State Baker will meet with West Bank Palestinian leaders in Washington this week to iron out obstacles to the Middle East Peace Conference later this month. Among the key Palestinian demands, a halt to Israeli settlements in the occupied territories. As ABC's Dean Reynolds reports, those settlements are a continuing source of friction between the U.S. and Israel.
Despite U.S. opposition, work was proceeding today on 2 new Jewish settlements in the occupied territories. This one is in the West Bank, and this one is in the Golan Heights on the border with Syria. Such a move, so close to a planned Mideast peace conference, will surely anger the Syrians. The fact that it is to be populated with new Soviet immigrants will not please the United States. But Israeli leaders don't see it that way.
I'm against provocations. I'm against any step that might antagonize anyone just for the sake of it.
In fact, the government here believes Washington is antagonizing Israel. There is lingering bitterness over the president's decision to delay granting Israel loan guarantees for immigrant resettlement. And there is word today that the White House is also refusing to let Israel approve in advance the Palestinian delegation to the coming peace talks. Faisal Husseini and Hanan Hashrawi, 2 potential candidates for that Palestinian delegation, came back to Israel today. They are suspected of having met with PLO officials during their trip abroad, a violation of Israeli law. The 2 will soon face police questioning and could well be arrested. All of this is why Secretary of State Baker is expected to return to this region soon, to try to keep all of the parties from finding ways to back out of the peace conference, tentatively set for later this month. Dean Reynolds, ABC News, Tel Aviv.
China is admitting defeat in its attempt to stifle campus dissent by ordering students into the army for a year. After students returned to Beijing University, they rejected their training, lost faith in the Communist Party, and some joined the pro-democracy forces that staged massive demonstrations 2 years ago. So much for trying to force Beijing students to make war. Now communist authorities want to stop them from making love. ABC's Todd Carroll explains why.
In the paranoid and puritanical world of Chinese communism, most every form of political expression is banned. Officials now see public displays of affection as another threat to social stability. So they're taking aim at kissing and hugging on the campus of China's most prestigious university, the one officials still see as a potential center of renewed student activism. They have issued regulations calling such behavior uncivilized. Hand-holding apparently is still okay. The message from the authorities to young people is get turned on and you'll get turned in. Most students say they'll ignore the new regulations, but a few agree that too much intimacy in public does go against tradition.
Chinese young are different from the foreigners.
But try as they may, in this decade when skirts have gone up, and when so many young people prance out at night for a little fun, it doesn't look like the communists can create a sexually listless generation. One recent sex survey here found that 86% of those questioned approved of premarital sex, and about half even approved of extramarital affairs. So for many young people, romance has become the best way to fill the void left by the lack of political freedom. Todd Carroll, ABC News, Beijing.
In a moment, new regulations to protect children from lead poisoning.
You could call one company to take your package to an address across town. And you could find somebody to take your package to any address cross-country. Then you could call a third outfit that could take your package overseas. And yet another that could take your package overnight. But there's only one company you could call if you only wanted to make one call.
We built this business. They came in with their big pumps and stopped the flooding. Saved my business. All I've worked for. Built this business.
Your people really cared. It meant a lot to us.
They lent me the money. Without it, Debbie couldn't have started college.
We built this business to build your dreams.
Domino's is what you're into. Domino's is where you're at. Nobody knows like Domino's.
Domino's Pizza doesn't make your pizza until you make your call and delivers in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed.
Nobody knows like Domino's.
Domino's Pepperoni Pizza Feast with extra pepperoni and cheese. Now a medium's just $8.99 or two for $12.99.
Nobody knows like Domino's. How you like pizza at home.
Imagine a rent-a-car company that offers special delivery right to your door. That's Enterprise.
Here, let me help you.
Enterprise, a special rent-a-car company that gives you special delivery.
Have you had your V8 today? Did you know that V8 juice has less than half the calories of that apple?
Wow!
V8 is a nutritious blend of 8 vegetable juices that taste terrific. Have you had your V8 today?
The Bush administration is expected to issue new guidelines tomorrow to prevent lead poisoning, which in young children can cause neurological damage and learning problems. Bettina Gregory has more on that story.
Nowhere, not even the capital of the United States, is free of lead. This child is drinking water tested to show dangerous levels of lead right in the halls of Congress. Lead poisoning can lower a child's intelligence. By reducing the blood levels of lead considered hazardous, the federal government has increased the number of children under 6 believed to be at risk. That means 3 million children have too much lead in their blood, 12 times more than the earlier estimate. Children's welfare advocates say it's time the government acknowledged the extent of the problem.
This change by the federal government deserves commendation. It's a giant step forward.
The administration is calling for universal blood tests for children under 6, but Democrats complain the administration has failed to provide money for those tests.
It's unconscionable hypocrisy to say there's a lead problem and then not to tell us how to deal with reducing that lead problem.
A blood test for lead costs an average of $30. While everyone seems to approve lowering the danger threshold for lead poisoning, there are questions about the federal government's commitment since the administration is not willing to spend more money to solve the problem of lead. Bettina Gregory, ABC News, Washington.
When we come back, the Toronto Blue Jays flying high on mended wings.
The glorious freshness of mint. Nobody knows it better than Polidin. That's why there's a splash of mint in every Polidin tablet to leave your dentures feeling gloriously clean and fresh. Get super strength Polidin with a splash of mint.
Look what's popping up, that's free. Special K waffles from Eggo. Once you see how good fat free can be, oh no, you never let go.
No way. It's all mine.
Special K waffles from Eggo.
Eggo Special K waffles. Crisp, delicious, yet every bite fat-free, cholesterol-free, and just 80 calories per waffle. See how good fat-free can be.
Oh no, you never let go. Nah. Special K waffles from Eggo.
Mary Brody won't feel the tiny lump in her breast for another 2 years. But she'll discover it tomorrow after her first mammogram, thanks in part to a new X-ray film created by DuPont that makes it safer to start mammography early. And for Mary, early detection means a 2-year head start on the rest of her life. At DuPont, we make the things that make a difference.
I'm alive, Jeff Hashimoto.
I'm alive, Vonda Williamson. I'm alive, Sonia Schofield.
I'm alive, Howard Weber.
Want to get more out of life?
I'm alive, Jessica Weber.
Get airbags. See your Allstate agent for a list of cars with airbags.
We're alive.
You know, recycling has given trash a whole new meaning.
That's the idea, John.
This Rubbermaid 32-gallon trash can is $8.44. And after rebate, GE Soft White light bulbs are $1.99 a pack.
Does that make garbage garbage?
Beats me.
Finally, someone finds out who Dan Quayle really is.
Anything you'd like to say to Jay Leno or Johnny Cross?
Watch 2020 Friday.
Now let's go to New York and Dick Schaap, who's sitting in for the vacationing Ray Gandolf, with a look at the amazing 1991 Blue Jays and, of course, today's sports highlights. Dick?
Thank you, Carol. Baseball took a breather today heading into its playoffs, and football took the spotlight. The Washington Redskins became the 6th NFL team in 6 years to start the season with 6 straight victories. Mark Rippon twice hit Art Monk for touchdowns. But a challenger to the Redskins may have emerged in the National Conference, the Detroit Lions, who scored 3 touchdowns in the closing minutes to lift their record to 5-1. The last day of the baseball season meant nothing in the standings, but something to sentimentalists. Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, once home to John Unitas and Brooks Robinson, hosted its final game. The Orioles will shift their home base to Camden Yards next season. The Toronto Blue Jays have a state-of-the-art stadium and now may have a team to match. They were supposed to fold the way they folded in 1985 when they blew a 3-1 lead in the playoff series. The way they folded in 1987 when they blew a 3.5-game lead with a week to go by losing 7 straight games. But the 1991 Toronto Blue Jays didn't know they were supposed to fold. Tom Candiotti, Joe Carter, Devon White, Roberto Alomar, Dave Parker, and Candy Maldonado, 6 of the 10 men who started the Blue Jays' final home game of the regular season, were not on the team a year ago.
Gone, home run!
From day one, we believed that we could win it. Boston, Detroit had their best runs. They came close. We never gave up first place. We never relinquished it. We bent a little bit, but we didn't break.
These are new Blue Jays. Perched in their sprawling Sky Dome, they are the first major league team to draw 4 million fans. Is this the best mall in Toronto?
Definitely. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. This is where all our money goes.
And if one new bird personifies the team, it is Carter, the team leader in home runs and runs batted in, who, rescued from obscurity in Cleveland and San Diego, has become a major star, shining brightly enough to be interviewed by other major stars.
It's be 40, 50 years old and still swing the bat the way you do. Hey, awesome.
All right, thanks a lot. That's Joe Carter, outfielder for the Toronto Blue Jays.
And I'm Dave Winfield, on the ball.
I got a ballot you can't hit two of them out.
Too quick. That's a double. Shining brightly enough to needle other major stars.
You step in the line, you out.
In the game in which Toronto clinched first place this week, Carter displayed all his skills. First, a magnificent catch. Then, at a critical moment in a tight game, a perfect throw to cut down a runner at the plate.
Kyer up, throwing to the plate. He's out.
After about the 7th inning, believe it or not, I said I'm going to win this game.
He did. Bottom of the 9th, score tied. Carter muscled the ball up the middle. Not a mighty blow, but a meaningful one.
Blue Jays win the East. Let the celebration begin.
In the locker room, Carter took a ritual soaking, hugged another key newcomer, Roberto Alomar, and tried to explain his feelings.
I can't believe what's going on, but I thank God this is a dream come true. And like I say, we still got 8 more games to win, and this is the way to start right here.
Since Pittsburgh is the reigning champion in Canada's national sport, Toronto feels turnabout would be fair play. Carol?
Thanks, Dick. When we come back, the second coming of Scarlett O'Hara.
Think about that tomorrow.
And we want all you want.
We built this business.
He was wearing those night vision goggles they make. Otherwise, he never could have seen me. Rescued me.
Built this business.
They taught me computer drafting. I earned a degree. Now I've got a job.
They make the parts that connect my pacemaker. Never thought I'd be around to tell you that.
We built this business to build your dreams.
In the silent dawn, a golden sun, soft kiss, warm smile, the day's begun, the touch, the feel, the fabric of our lives, the touch, the feel of cotton, the fabric of our lives.
Monday, our series, The Healthy Woman, Options and Taking Charge of Your Body and Mind.
Also Richard Gere, and later in the week, B.B. King on Good Morning America.
From the time it was first published in 1936, Gone with the Wind has been a spectacularly successful phenomenon. Now, more than half a century later, comes the sequel. It has arrived to even more spectacular success, although the critics say that, frankly, no one should give a damn. ABC's Al Dale explains.
2680.
There's never been anything quite like it in the publishing industry.
You know, it's been phenomenal. It's been a phenomenal week. Even this week, it's been blowing out of the store, literally.
We've never had a book before where people were fighting over the cartons that the book was packed in.
2 weeks after hitting the bookstores, Scarlett, the continuing love story of you-know-who, is being turned out at the rate of 50,000 copies a day.
Well, I loved Gone with the Wind, like everybody else, and I want to see what happens to Scarlett.
So far, fans have lined up to buy well over 500,000 copies. Many stores can't keep it on the shelves.
We've sold 300 that we got in, 300 out.
The sequel has been selling so well that it's catapulted the original, Gone with the Wind, back onto the bestseller list at number 14. With success like that, you'd think Scarlett would be a great book.
Scarlett is a lifeless lump of a book.
Reviewers have panned the novel with the same enthusiasm that readers have snapped it up. It is a hunger fed by unprecedented publicity, the kind of publicity that translates directly into dollars.
Everybody's been waiting for this thing.
I think this whole situation proves that there's no such thing as bad publicity, but there is such a thing as a bad book. And people, once they finish responding to the publicity, are going to bring home a book that's just awful.
I do hope that people will read the book and like it. That's who I wrote it for.
And the question on everyone's mind, will there be a sequel to the movie?
Well, I haven't thought about that yet. I'll think about that tomorrow.
But you can bet someone in Hollywood is thinking about that today. Al Dale, ABC News, Atlanta.
And that's World News Sunday. Watch Peter Jennings tomorrow. I'm Carol Simpson. Have a good week and good night.
From Washington, this has been World News.